Am I the asshole for letting my daughter and her husband move in with me so that they won't be homeless? This situation is complicated and I'm at my wits' end. I have two daughters who are civil to each other but don't get along with each other. My eldest is married to Steve, while my youngest is engaged to Adam. Steve and Adam are so different they disliked each other the first time they met. Steve works part time because he treasures family time with my daughter. They spend time traveling and exploring different parts of the States. He spends freely because he often says he can't take his money with him when he dies. Adam is an executive and has his side business. He owns several dozen properties. He works about 80 hours a week at both jobs because his philosophy is that he wants to make as much money as possible while he's young so that he can retire early. Steve thinks Adam is a corporate shill and basically blames him for everything that's wrong with society. Steve said that Adam is actively keeping people from buying homes and keeping them dependent on him. Adam thinks Steve is a slacker and has told him people like him do the bare minimum but expect handout and are what's wrong with society. Neither of them are bad and they treat my daughters well. I retired last year due to my health, so Adam built a house for me so that I can live comfortably. I was able to customize everything in the house to fit my taste. Adam owns the house, pays for all the utilities, and charges me $1 a month for rent. Part of our deal is that no one else can live in the house but me. He was very clear about this. Steve recently lost his job, so he and my eldest are living off her single income. As you can imagine, they are struggling. My eldest recently called me crying because their savings are almost gone and they can't make next month's rent. She asked if she and Steve could move in with me until he finds another job. I live on a fixed income, so I don't have money to set them up in another apartment. She's my daughter and I couldn't let her be homeless, so I let Steve and her move in. I gave them strict rules about a time limit on when they had to move out. I didn't think my youngest and Adam would find out because they live in another state, but somehow she found out. She called and screamed at me last night for betraying Adam's trust, but I argued that I'm a mother to two daughters and I can't let one be homeless. I told her about the rules and time limit and she begged her not to tell Adam. She hung up on me, so I don't know what's going to happen. I know I went back on an agreement, but I had good reason. I couldn't add any details in my original post because I was afraid of going over the character limits. Adam pays the taxes and utilities on this house, but because it's the only house he has in this state, he keeps its financial separate from the rest of his properties. Also, he doesn't really have anything to do with the house. Instead, he gave it over to my youngest to take care of, so she handles all of the bills and maintenance and pays them out of an account he set up. She noticed the increased utility costs, which is when she called. We just spoke again, and I laid my soul bare to her. I knew I was going back on our agreement, but it was to keep her sister from being homeless. We had a lengthy conversation, and in the end, she agreed not to tell Adam. She'll cover the increased utility costs out of her own pocket, so he won't notice it. In exchange, her sister and Steve will have 3 months, then we'll have to move out. I originally told them they had 6 months. 6 months. I'm lucky to have a compassionate daughter. Thank you for taking the time to read my post. Some of the comments were very hurtful, but some were helpful. You made me realize I should have called my youngest at the start and asked. That would have saved a lot of tears. Am I the asshole for asking my partner to support my dream but at the same time not supporting hers? My partner, 26F, and I, 25M, are both finishing school. I graduate this May and she'll graduate next May. I told her before we started dating 2.5 years ago that it was a huge dream of mine to move out of the States into Canada for various reasons. I've been a huge Canada-phile. She looked it up and it's an actual word for years now. I asked her if she'd be willing to go with me after she graduated, and she said she'd need to think about it. I said, the choice is yours, but I'd like for you to come after you graduate. May 2024. Yesterday, an exotic pet show came to town, and she was excited and went. And I was not as excited and opted not to go. She mentioned it once or twice before, and I thought it might have been a spur of the moment, oh, that'd be cool to have, but she has talked about having a pet snake. I don't really like snakes, or really the idea of pets outside of a cat, a dog, or maybe a horse in the future if we had the land. She said it was her dream to own a pet snake, and I was not supportive of her dream, but at the same time, I asked her to support mine. I said, I'm not against you owning a snake as long as I never have to meet it, like if it was kept at work or something, but I definitely don't want it living with me. Am I the asshole? TLDR, my dream is to move to Canada and hers is to own a snake. I asked her to come with me to Canada, but I don't want a snake as a pet in our home. Am I the asshole? Edit. So she and I have already moved out of our parents' place together, away from our family, for those suggesting that I am pulling her away from family. We live hours away from home, and Canada is also hours from mine in the other direction. We go to school in the south. Edit 2. She actually likes Canada and the people. She said she wouldn't mind living when we went to Montreal. Try poutine if you haven't, it's really good. But I think at the end of the day, she still sees it as my dream. Final edit. Girlfriend read the post, we laughed at the comments, and she said breaking up is a Redditor's default life tip. And that as soon as I brought up the tiger, I should have known I was getting ripped to shreds. Pun intended. She said the you're the asshole comments and saw the not the asshole comments, and at the end of the day, she would at least like me to try meeting snakes and being around them. Not comparable, and understands I want this dream because I want a better life for her, myself, and any kids we might have. And I see a Canada file is cringe for some of you. All I thought I'd compromise. How about Canada Stan? Question mark. I mean, I'm happy that you guys are like working stuff out, but Canada Stan, Canada file. I was like, what the fuck am I saying right now? Am I the asshole for not dyeing my hair for someone's wedding? So for context, I, 20F, was born with a rare condition, and it made me born with a large patch of my hair that is white. I've always had that white hair for pretty much all my life, and the rest of my hair is dark brown. When I was a kid, I tried dyeing it several times, but it burned and left rashes until it faded. My brother, 27M, is getting married in about a month. He's marrying May, 25F. They made me one of the bridesmaids yesterday. May and my family were having a big supper party to talk about the wedding more and just see each other. During dinner, May said I should schedule an appointment to the hairdresser soon. I asked her why, and she said I need to get that thing, quote unquote, covered up for her wedding pictures. I was a bridesmaid after all, so I had to look nice. I said I would never dye my hair again, but she got a bit huffy and left the room for a bit, and my brother said that to just dye it this once, and with maybe temporary dye. He said it was May's choice, she was the bride, and if I don't comply, they would simply put me out of the wedding ceremony. I still tried to defend myself, but I think I did too much. I said it was my choice, and I didn't care what anyone said, and my brother just got angry and told me that I was an asshole. Am I? It is their wedding, after all, but part of me just feels justified, so I'm torn. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I know I enjoyed making it. I really hope you enjoyed this look. I honestly, when I wanted to do something that had to do with bees, but I just ended up doing yellow and black, and this is what happened. And I don't hate it. I feel like it's probably not my best work, but I don't hate it. Please leave a comment on what you would like to see me do in the future. I'm really excited because there is this Hip Dot and Critical Role collab makeup that I ordered, like that I pre-ordered forever and a half ago, that's coming, and it's supposed to be here in a few days. So next video I should be using those, so that's really exciting. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified of when I post, and I hope this inspired you to make beautiful art with your face. I will see you guys next time. Bye.